Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus pilot, and welcome back to leg number 2 of our Airbus A350 around the world trip, mimicking a real-world test flight of the German Luftwaffe, that's the German Air Force, and their politician transporter, the Airbus A350, which flew from Cologne to Canberra onto Tahiti and then from Tahiti back to Cologne back in 2020. Today we're going to fly sector number 2 of this 3-sector around the world trip, and we're going to depart an early morning Canberra over to a beautiful sunset landing over in Tahiti. Now let's get going and let's get our A350 set up after a message from today's sponsor. If you're looking for an ATC add-on that can not just do your standard IFR A to B flight but also other things like data link, VFR and even a cabin crew simulation, then look no further than Say Intentions AI. We'll be using them for all of our ATC services, including data link, in today's video. So if you like what you're about to see, then check them out using the link in the pinned comment or the video description below. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get right into our Airbus A350 on this beautiful early winter morning in Canberra. Now the sun is just about starting to rise, and honestly this is beautiful scenery, beautiful flare, beautiful ambience, isn't it? Alright, nonetheless, let's get into this. Beautiful little A350 cabin. I just like it, and the cockpit as well. It's just an awesome airplane, isn't it? Alright, we can leave that door open in the military. That's something that I really do like. Now look at our windows, quite a bit of fog on there, huh? You can definitely see it's winter morning. Okay, so engine start levers are off. Start selector norm, thrust levers idle, landing gear lever down, wipers off. Let's check our batteries, making sure that they didn't deteriorate in the cold temperatures. It was -5 degrees on the last night. Well, and then we can power on all the electricals. The airplane might need a little moment to power up. We are going to make good use of that time by analyzing our flight plan. So this is what it's going to look like today. Departing Canberra towards the north, and then we are heading out across the Pacific all the way to our destination. Significant weather chart shows a lovely jet stream with up to 155 knots of tailwind on our way over, and we are basically following that jet stream all along to our destination airport. In terms of airport weather, Canberra has actually pretty good weather conditions at the moment, and our destination in Tahiti is forecast very nice as well. Variable winds, few clouds, what else could you wish for? Our alternate in Rarotonga is likewise very nice, and in terms of our ETOPS, Sydney, well, has a little bit of weather forecast, but isn't all too shabby. Auckland is okay as well, at least at the time of our flight it is. And then Rarotonga is fine anyway. Now for our flight times, we are departing Canberra at 20:50 UTC, which is in 20 minutes from now, and that'll lead us to a nice and early arrival, 7 minutes ahead of schedule, in Tahiti's Papeete airport. Now, not critical with any of those weights, cruising in flight level 410 straight away, and then going down into our fuel section. I really don't think that we need any extra, so let's just round this up and make that, well, 44.1. Let's make it 45 tons, just to be on the safe side here. So 45 tons of fuel it is. After all, it's the taxpayer paying all of it. Alright, so down here we can go ahead and dim those displays just to get them into a little nicer mood. We don't need any GSX services for the time being. We do already have the chocks and the ground power. Lovely. Well then, let's continue our setup. Recall for 3 seconds. And that's looking good. Nothing in there. Dispatch page is not simulated at this point. Then we can do the fire tests, which are looking good. ADRs 1, 2 and 3 are coming online. So the lights are on, then a colleague can head out for the walk around, and while she's doing so, we can start by importing our flight plan into the FMS. A350-900 Trent XWB engine nav database is up to date. Can delete any and all of those previously stored items, and then let's go down here and request the company flight plan. While we're doing that on the FMS, we can do the same thing up here on the OIS. So here we go. And then down here received and insert. And here it is. And then let's go down to the ATC com page. Select say intentions, ADSC ARM, message record, it's all erased, and D8 request. Okay, we have 2. We're waiting for number 3. Which doesn't seem to have an ATIS at all, so I tell you what, let's try one update, and if that's not working, just print them all. If you may. Well, let's try it this way. Okay, let's see. Runway in use 30 and 17. We'll be going for runway 17 then, and all the rest of it is actually looking fairly good. Okay, cool. So then down to the load sheet. Sim brief import, 0 fuel weight is good. Set that. Fuel, we wanted 45 tons. And set fuel instant thank you. They would have refueled the airplane overnight already. So wing tanks are pretty much full, center tank is empty, that is looking good. Lovely, so for our takeoff performance we can synchronize sim brief as well. Runway 17 is looking good. Synchronize the weather, -5 degrees, 1025. Okay, takeoff weight is looking good, and all the rest is good as well. We're not gonna need anti-ice. Oh no, those clouds are high enough. When we enter them we will need anti-ice, but for the time being we don't. That's fine. So compute, and surprise, we can take off. Who would have thought that that's possible? Alright, so from here on let's continue. So weather is on board now. Oxygen is good, rain repellent is good. Let's go for the hydraulics, which are a little bit low on the yellow reservoir. Let's go ahead and refill that. And if we're on it already, we gotta service the engines as well. So refill and service. Here we go, that is looking fantastic. And we now know that the engines are good as well. Yep, completely full, lovely. Alright, cool. So, flaps up, spoilers retracted, both agree. Then we can test our alternate brakes, which are looking good. And let's just reinflate the brake accumulator. Here we go. Lovely, so that's the preliminary pre-flight procedure completed. So, our colleague can head out for the walk around, and we are going to start with our pre-flight procedures. Evacuation switch captain, crew supply on, ground recorder on, ELT armed, no white lights, reset buttons all in. Over here everything's set, fueling is completed, so let's turn on the fasten seatbelts. Let's also turn on the APU, because let's face it, it's freaking cold outside at -5. Refueling is done, so all the fuel pumps are coming on, no white lights. And on the right hand side, CVR test is checked, all the reset buttons are in, beautiful. Alright, so let's go down here and find ourselves some charts. Starting with the ground chart. And we've got ground 1 to 1.7. Going active, and then tower 118.7. Alright, then we need 1 to 1.5, and that's also coming active. VHF 1, VHF 2, interphone. Maybe not that high. I mean, we're in the Air Force, but we don't need to kill our ears completely. Alright, down here everything's set. On the right hand side we can tune that good stuff as well. And since we would have a complete second crew on board who may not need to operate on this flight since it's only 6.5 hours, they will still be in the flight deck for the takeoff, so let's give them some audio as well. Okay, and then we can go down into our FMS and start our setup. So, German Air Force 931, Canberra to Tahiti, altitude Rarotonga, flight level 410. Temperature in cruise is going to be -49. like this, and the tropopause is in 32,000, so very low today. Alright, good. So IRSs are aligning. Now departure runway 17, and our SID will be the Kulin 2 departure. Alright, insert. And then for the arrival, we're looking at runway 22 at the moment. That thing has an RNAV approach available, and the SID is going to be the Aruba 4 Tango. Entered, and do we need any vias? Let's see. Yes, Tavis. So via Tavis, thanks, and insert. Now let's cross-check our entries. SIDs, let's see, no, that's the wrong one. Then we need the other chart. Yep, Kulin 2, here it is. Alright, so runway 17, straight at 3,200 feet. Then a right-hand turn towards Royal. Left to Onglo, and that should be above 8,000, which it is. Then north towards Popat, and from there all the way to Kulin. Okay, that looks good. Now let's go over the rest of our flight plan as well. We might be going for radar vectors for the approach, or a visual. Might be fun as well. Just go down here and then a lovely visual onto the other side. We might do that. Depending on the weather conditions, of course. But with that, our flight plan is checked. Now, let's go ahead and have a look down here. On the runway track, there are some mountains over there. So we are probably not going to fly straight at 25 for our typical engine outset. But what we are going to do is straight at 5 miles, then left back to Charlie Bravo. I think that should be fine. So let's go on to the fix info page, and then we need YSCB17. Runway track is going to be 168 and a 5 mile turn over here, and then we want Charlie Bravo. That's looking good. Okay, so there is no step climb or anything needed, so that's easy going for us. The only thing that we can do is to enter the constant Mach segment for the oceanic part of the flight. And let's see, where does the oceanic part actually start? At TSAS. Okay, so TSAT, constant Mach, and that's going to be 0.85. And that'll be all the way to our destination. I don't know, I'm going to enter Aruba. That'll be fine. Right, Tempe and insert. Now, back to the flight plan, nav 8s. I do want Charlie Bravo active over here again. Fuel and load, let's see. So, 142.1. The CG is going to be 26.2, and the fuel 45 tons. We've got 20 passengers on board. And then let's check the fuel section in our flight plan. Down here, alternate 8.1. Then final 2.1. Reserves 1, taxi 600, that is good. Alright, then let's go for the takeoff performance. Send. Confirm. And that's all looking good. Engine out acceleration in 3,400, please. Position monitor YSCB17. Okay, transition altitude 10,000. Let's see about that. Yep, it's correct. So for the climb, auto derate is selected, and that's everything we need down here. And let's go to the secondary, import active, flight plan. insert next waypoint, and that's gonna be YSCB 17/168/5 nautical miles. That's a PBD-01, and then insert next waypoint. That'll be Charlie Bravo. Here we go. And that's this one, please. Why did I put that? God. Delete. Delete. Insert next. Charlie Bravo. Huh, there's a bug. That's not how it is supposed to work. So let's move those two, and then let's try it from here. What is it doing? You're not supposed to go to the top. Then insert it down here somehow. No? Okay. Well, then the secondary flight plan is bugged. Okay. Suppose there isn't much we can do about this, so yeah, then I don't know, just enter Charlie Bravo with a holding like that, and then new destination. Back to where we came from. Arrival, runway 17 and VOR. Here we go. Not the nicest setup of a secondary, but we do have our primary flight plan and the fix page for that, so that's going to be good enough. Okay, lovely. So, request winds and insert, and then secondary again, number 2, copy, active. Lovely. Okay, so we might as well quickly use this to cross-check our route. So, departing from Canberra's runway 17, QLIN 2, departure to QLIN, Yankee 59, TSET, Golf 595, Selbub, and then onto the Aruba arrival. Alright, cool. So that's our route also checked. Lovely, then we're done down here in the FMS, so let's get up to our FCU. And that's everything set. Then let's see, takeoff performance, QNH 1025, -5 degrees, that's all looking good. APU bleed also coming on, and we can go into APU econ mode since we only have like 20 people on board anyway. So we still get a destination EFOP warning, -2.2. Honestly, I don't really believe that, so it's gonna be fine the way it is. Alright, and that's everything done that we needed to do, so let's go ahead and request our departure clearance. So, ATIS information, whiskey. Request clearance departure. So, gate 27, and we've got ATIS information, whiskey. Transfer to mailbox. So, request pre-departure clearance, German Air Force 931, A350 to Tahiti at Canberra stand 27, ATIS whiskey. Looks good, sent. Okay, while we're waiting, are you ready for the departure briefing? Then let's go for it. Okay, we will be departing from Canberra, runway 17, via the QLIN 2 departure. Initial climb we'll see probably 6,000 or so. 1027. So MSA is going to be up to 5,100 until 10 miles, then 7,500 later. Extra fuel and time, we got a ton more. We'll see what the airplane actually starts to think, but I'm happy with it the way it is right now. Okay, here's our clearance, and it is as expected. Then we'll insert the rest later, except that the initial is now to 7,000 feet. Well, and then it's my turn. In the meantime, let's just do Wilco, send, print. Okay, good. So we have one hotspot for our taxi routing. That's the crossing of runway 17, even though we could theoretically just take the intersection. Do we have any intersection data over here? Let's see. Yes, we do. 1,728 meters. How much do we actually need? It doesn't tell, huh? Okay. Well, what happens if we just make this 1,720? What do we get? Can't. Okay, that's fine. Then let's return that to 2683. Okay. Good, fair enough. Alright, so we'll have a long runway available. Stop margin will be a couple meters, and engine out sits straight at 5 miles, then a left turn back to Charlie Bravo, climbing 7,000, which keeps us safe above the MSA. Now, we've got nothing special or non-standard. The restrictions are no problems whatsoever. And do you see threats? Because I don't. And with that, our briefing is completed. So, cockpit preparation checklist, please. Gear pins and covers removed. Fuel quantity is 45 tons balanced. Barrel reference QNH 1027, reading 1940. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Alright, so by now clearance has arrived. Let's see, cleared to Tahiti, QLIN 2 departure, runway 17. And that's 17, QLIN 2 is confirmed. Okay, maintain 7,000, which we got. Departure 124.5. And squawk. .6624. Here we go, that's everything entered. Then we do have a running APU, we do already have our final performance figures, so let's go ahead and prepare the airplane. So GSX, prepare pushback and departure, disconnect ramper, disconnect shocks. We do not need de-icing today. The airplane is in a fine condition, or did you see anything during the walk around? No? Okay. No, it's totally fine. I mean, look at the weather over here. There is no reason, even with -5 degrees, there is no reason to expect any icing on the airplane. And as you can see visually, since AnyBuilds does model it, there is no icing on the airplane. Just looks fantastic, doesn't it? Okay. So then, slides are armed. And we can stow the table. We are on the ground frequency already, so let's call for pushback and startup. What's going on? GSX. So, transponder on, let's call for pushback and startup, please. Canberra ground, German Air Force 931 Heavy, request pushback and startup.
German Air Force 931, pushback and startup approved, face north.
Pushback and startup approved, facing north, German Air Force 931. B4 start checklist, please. Park and brake. Set, takeoff speeds and thrust. So, V1 130, VR 135, V2 141, flex 58. Slides, armed, nose wheel steering disconnect memo, checked, B4 start checklist complete. Okay, ground flight, we're clear to push, nose to the left, and the parking brake is now released. Thank you, start the pushback, and you can start the engines at your discretion. Roger. What is it doing? Come on, GSX, are you serious? So they crashed us into the stairs. I suppose that is not a good way to start around the world flight. But hey, we are pushing now. Alright, as soon as we're behind the line over here, I will commence engine start. And that's looking good. So the fare deck is powering. Start the timer, 10 seconds. Okay. Ground flight deck starting number 1. Clear 1. I would not want to be in this position right now. I really wouldn't. At least he's not gonna get run over today. So I vote for a dynamic kill counter, listing the number of ramp agents and wing walkers that we've already killed right on the airplane. Man, I should be careful with what I wish for. This is actually an Air Force aircraft. Alright, we've got a good start number 1, starting number 2, and the push is completed, the parking brake is set. Okay, show me the avail message, please. Here we go, engine 2 start. So, there's the tug, and it is a lifter. Number 2 has ignition. That's looking pretty good. Alright, we can already get the heads-up displays down. Okay, ground, we've got 2 good engine starts, clear to disconnect, show me the pin on the right, please, and have a good day, bye-bye. So, that's looking good, there's a ramp agent, she's holding a pin. Lovely, flight control check, please. Full up, full down, neutral. Full left. Full right, neutral rudder, full left, full right, and neutral. After start checklist. Anti-ice, off, flight controls, checked, ground clearance, received, after start checklist complete. German Air Force 931 Heavy, request taxi.
German Air Force 931, runway 17 taxi via Alpha Echo.
Taxi runway 17 via Alpha and Echo, German Air Force 931. Okay, Alpha is on this side, and no, we are not going by Alpha. German Air Force 931, unable taxiway Alpha due to wingspan, request taxi via Delta, Bravo and Echo.
German Air Force 931, runway 17 taxi via Delta, Bravo, Echo.
Taxi runway 17 via Delta, Bravo and Echo, German Air Force 931. Clear on the left side, clear on the right side, parking brakes released. Then let's go. So we don't have clearance to cross the runway just yet. German Air Force 931, are we clear to cross runway 17?
German Air Force 931, cross runway 17 approved.
Crossing runway 17 approved, German Air Force 931. Right, the strobes are on, there is an airplane, but they must be holding short then, and the left side is clear. Let's not block the runway any longer than we need to. Alright, back down to 10 knots for the turn. Beautiful colors going through the cockpit. The lighting is just amazing, isn't it? Alright, so I've got no changes to the briefing. And the squawk is in. Lovely, taxi checklist please. So, flap setting, config 1 plus F, radar on, ecam memo, takeoff no blue, taxi checklist complete. So we're cleared via echo, that's the full length. And then we can report ready for departure any moment. Actually, they're probably going to give us the handoff anyway. 1187. So, nice and slow for the
German Air
turn.
Force 931, contact tower on 118.7, safe flight.
118.7, German Air Force 931. Canberra Tower, German Air Force 931 Heavy, ready for departure.
German Air Force 931 Heavy, Canberra Tower, runway 17, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, runway 17, German Air Force 931 Heavy. Okay, cabin crew, prepare for departure. Actually, tell you what, I'll go onto terrain as well. Lineup checklist. So, cabin is secured, takeoff runway, 17 full length, packs 1 and 2, on, lineup checklist complete. Beautiful winter morning here. And park and brake is set. Alright, so what are we waiting for? Ah, the gentleman is just vacating, I hope? Or whatever he's doing back there. That certainly looks interesting. Come on, just get off that runway with your ATR. So it's just past 6 AM. That means we are ready to go any moment. There is no official noise abatement, but airport fees have a tendency to be a little bit more expensive at night. Ooh, that looks better. So, where's the ATR? Doing very strange things back there. And don't ask me why there's another one in the grass. German Air Force 931 ready for departure. That ATR should be far enough away from the runway.
German Air Force 931, runway 17, hold short, dash 8 on the runway.
Holding short, German Air Force 931. Okay, now come on. He's off. He's definitely off. No, come on. What's going on now? Come on, is that Crash 8 is gone? Feels almost like flying on Vatsim over here. That's where I would normally expect
German Air Force
pilots to block
931
things.
Heavy, runway 17, wind 090 at 9er, cleared for takeoff.
German Air Force 931 Heavy, runway 17, cleared for takeoff. Okay, ready? And take off. Manflex 58, SRS, auto thrust blue. Thrust set. Knots, checked.
V1.
Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Nav, checked. Why? Thrust, decline, climb, auto thrust. Flaps 0.
Contact departure.
Contact departure, German Air Force 931. Canberra departure, German Air Force 931 Heavy, passing 3,700, climbing 7,000.
German Air Force 931 Heavy, Canberra departure, radar contact, climb by the SID.
Climb by the SID, German Air Force 931 Heavy. Alright, acceleration flow pattern, flaps up, spoil is retracted, landing gear up,
German Air
packs
Force
on.
931, radar contact, climb via the SID.
You said that already. And what is that strange TCAS indication we get here all the time? Okay, autopilot 1, vertical speed. Speed, vertical speed. Let's just reset that TCAS real quick. Interesting, it's just coming back all the time. Oh, I don't even want to know where the bug is, but I'm sure that there is some bug somewhere. 1,000 to go. Come on. You should be gone. Yep, it's definitely operating again. Well, now it is. Let's just go back for default settings here. Okay. Well, interesting. Then we've got a TCAS inoperative. If that's giving us nonsense indications. Okay. So be it. If TCAS is broken, it's broken. Can't really disable it though. Well, I suppose we can go TA only, but that's gonna be a problem for the return flight. And actually might be one for this one as well.
Flight level 240.
German Air Force 931, climbing flight level 240. Thrust decline, climb alt 4000 blue. Okay, well. Problem is, on those modern aircraft, you can't really do TCAS tests anymore as a pilot, as that is all maintenance action. This is where a test would actually come in helpful to find out if it's working. Because without TCAS, we are not allowed to fly ETOPS. So that may be a problem. But okay, we'll find out. We'll find out. Let's see if TA only works. And that's a step into the right direction. German Air Force 931. Is there any traffic around us? I just want to find out if there is anybody whom
German
we
Air
should
Force
see.
931. No traffic in your vicinity.
Ah, okay. Well, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're just gonna continue the flight for the time being. And then we'll see. If we see any aircraft on the TCAS in the meantime, then that's totally fine with me. Alright, set standard. Standard cross-check, passing level 101 now. Okay, so back to weather. And then navigate clear. And level 401 versus level 410. Perfect, so we're gonna go to level 410. Good, so ATC com, connect. Let's see, what is our lock-on code? Yankee triple Mike. And notify. Okay, good,
German
so...
Air Force 931. Climb flight level 280.
Climbing flight level 280, German Air Force 931. Right, good, so that's what we've got to do for the time being. And then I'd say for the moment, that is all that I can offer you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. here we are. The sun starts to set and we can already get the first glimpses of our destination right there at the horizon.
Descend altitude 4000, QNH 1015.
Descent 4000, QNH 1015, German Air Force 931. So, descent started, CPLC terminated, set QNH. QNH 1015, cross check, passing 14,100 now. Oh god, be annoying, GSX. Okay, so,
German Air Force 931, contact Tahiti approach on 125.39er.
12539er, German Air Force 935. So, our ATIS is Papa. Tahiti approach, German Air Force 931 Heavy, passing 13,000, descending 4,000, information Papa. Alright, fast and feedback's coming on.
Heavy. Tahiti approach identified. IA Aura, expect the runway 4 approach into Tahiti.
Expecting the runway 4, German Air Force 931 Heavy. Well, heavy is probably not exactly the right term for this flight, because, well, we are pretty light, as you can see by the pitch over here, to achieve that descent rate. Now, our runway is located just straight out on the 12 o'clock, and we are basically on a straight in. So let's go ahead and do our approach briefing, please. So the MSA is 9,000 due to the high terrain on the right hand side. We are going to fly straight in ILS Yankee approach runway 04. Minimum's 260, go around straight at 9,000, then left turn back to the VOR.
German Air Force 931, turn right heading 080 vectors for the ILS runway 4 approach.
Heading 080, German Air Force 931. Okay, so it is going to be radar vectors instead, fine with me. Thrust idle, descent heading. Probably some sequencing issues or so.
Continue heading 080 for vector.
Yeah, whatever. Then, what are we gonna do? Straight in approach, go around has been talked about, and the extra fuel and time, 1.3 tons, 15 minutes. Lovely, so let's get back into the left seat.
Speed below 250 knots.
Speed 250 or less, German Air Force 931 Heavy. Okay, able to do that. So, light, signs, LS, and nav aids, all checked. Good. Yeah, I know that the concept nav segment is deleted. Why can't I remove the message? Anyway, let's continue with the briefing. This is going to be an ILS approach. Flat director guided, config 3. Which I actually think I have forgot to select. Here we go, config 3. What else? Well, to be honest, not quite much. Auto brake on BTV, we gotta make 180 at the end, idle reverse, and then we taxi to the parking. No hotspots for our taxi-in, and threats for the arrival, certainly the train, because, well, up to 7,500, MSA's up to 9,000. For this reason, I'll go on the train on my side as well, you have train as well. And that should be perfect for the approach. Do you have any questions or suggestions? No? Lovely, then that's our briefing complete, and approach checklist please. So, Barrow ref, QNH 1015, minimum, Sparrow 260, runway condition, dry, auto brake, BTV. Approach checklist complete. Okay, lovely. Gotta say, this looks quite amazing again. This sim just always does. Okay, 25 miles to run, we're in 6,000, so we're actually rather low. Vertical speed. Let's try and make it a nice continuous descent approach. German Air Force 931, can we proceed direct Charlie India 04? Because this vector is nonsense, huh?
German Air Force 931, proceed direct to Aruba.
And 931 negative, definitely not. We are turning direct to the center fix. Enough. I have no idea what this heading's been good for. Probably
German Air Force
nothing.
931 negative, maintain heading 080 for vectors to the visual runway 4 approach at Tahiti.
Absolutely not.
German Air Force 931, maintain heading 080 for vectors to the visual runway 4 approach at Tahiti.
No, we're turning to the final now. I'm not gonna discuss this with him.
German Air Force 931, turn right heading 030.
Right, heading 030. No, left. Heading 030, German Air Force 931. Okay, heading
German Air Force
330.
931 heavy, 12 miles from CI-04. Maintain heading 335, descend altitude 3500 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 4 approach.
Heading 335, descend 3500, cleared ILS runway 4, German Air Force 931. Okay, that looks better. No idea what caused the earlier problems. So, anything left that we can do? Not really, huh? Except for enjoying the beautiful scenery, of course. Because that one really is beautiful. So, you're gonna have the chart live, because that gives us a better idea of our control zones. Well, it would be nice if there was any information here, but I do believe that one probably goes all the way to the ground. So we're in controlled airspace. So, glide slope is alive. We are nicely below it. That fits very, very well. So let's do 1,000 feet a minute, just to stay nicely below the glide so that we have some room to reduce our airspeed before intercepting the final. Okay, and then let's go ahead and have a little bit of fun. Manual flight. Hey, I did press you twice. Sometimes this is annoying. Okay, no further comment. So, right heading 010, and then we'll intercept like that. Hold stop. And the approach phase should activate any moment. But it doesn't, so let's do it ourselves. Lock stop. What is the final approach course doing? That's like completely off. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Glide slope capture.
German Air Force 9031, contact Tahiti Tower on 118.1.
118.1, German Air Force 9031. Okay, 18.1, and let's get rid of that silly message here. Thank you. Tahiti Tower, German Air Force 9031 Heavy, ILS 04.
German Air Force 931 Heavy, Tahiti Tower, roger.
So the runway heading should be 041. Yeah, no idea why that course is off.
2,500. Wind 080 at 4, runway 4, clear to land.
Runway 4, clear to land, German Air Force 9031 Heavy. Alright, flight director's off, but if the final approach course is that far off, then we're not going to get good indications by our flight director, so might as well turn it off.
2,000.
Flaps 2. Gear down. Flaps 3. Speed checked. Flaps 3. So, landing checklist. ECA memo, landing no blue, landing checklist complete. So, the runway is inside on the 12 o'clock. By the way, I've dimmed the heads-up display a little bit, because, well, that's actually the way you're supposed to use them. Like, dim them down so far that you can easily see through them, and that you just about can read what's actually written on the HUD. Checked. So, the localizer seems to be significantly off over here. Looking outside, we are exactly on the center line now. Alright, everything's done, everything's prepared. So all we need is a lovely screenshot of the airplane on the approach. Like this. And then let's come in for a good landing.
400.
And no, don't do that at home.
100 above.
Checked.
$200 minimum.
Continue.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 10, 5.
Spotters, reverse green, decel. It's always an adventure when you're using brake to vacate, as you just gotta rely on that thing to actually start braking when you reach the point where you want to vacate. That's especially a thing today, since we've selected the runway end. So, 70 knots. Ah, look at that, now it goes max reverse.
Max braking. Brake. Max.
Yeah, thanks, we're doing that. That's funny. So the airplane was set to... The airplane was set to do that itself, and then it still triggered the runway overrun protections. Lovely. That's absolutely lovely. And now the simulator is hanging. Here we go.
German Air Force 931, welcome to Tahiti. Taxi to 4A via Sierra. Charlie, stay with me.
4 Alpha via Sierra Charlie, German Air Force 931. Wow, look at that sunset. I had kinda hoped we would be landing into the other direction, so that we could actually see it on final approach, but, well, this way we've been faster. Which doesn't hurt anyway. Alright, here we are. Welcome to Tahiti. So, the temperature is 25, then we can retract the flaps all the way. Gonna keep the lights on for the time being. And stow the hut. So, they assigned gate 4 Alpha, which gotta be down here. Not many of them. Let's request Papa 2. Actually, no, Papa 1. German Air Force 931. Request gate Papa 1.
German Air Force 931, taxi to gate Papa 1 via Sierra Charlie. Hold short of runway 4.
Papa 1, Sierra Charlie, German Air Force 931. Okay, so... we cannot take this one, but the next, please. Alright, 10 knots and... APU on. Okay, the left side is clear. Okay, we'll be parking to the left of that 787 over here. I think that's gate 0? Yeah, 0. Oh, that looks close on the side there. Have a good look to the right, please, that we don't break the airplane before we actually put it into service. So, lights off. So, nice and slow, APU is available. Right side is clear. Lights are off, APU bleed on. So we'll let it roll all the way to the front. And stop. This should be just about fine. So, parking brake is set, APU bleed is confirmed on, engines off. Cabin, all doors in park. Okay. Beacon off, doors are disarmed, seatbelts off. So, parking checklist please. And that's the parking brake out shocks. Brake set, wing light off, parking checklist complete. So then, squawk 2000 and transponder standby, confirm. Okay, lovely. 6 hours and 28 minutes flight time. We've arrived on time. Let's check our fuel. And we've used 33.8 while we were supposed to use 32.8. So we used 1,000 kilos more. Okay. But remember that one for the next trip. Okay, lovely. And that's everything completed. So let's go for the ground over here. Operate stairs, please. And shocks in a position. Then we can release those brakes. Well, and here we are. So ADS are going off, the APU is going to remain online, and we'll hand the airplane over to our engineers. So let's still that hot before anyone bumps into it. And that, welcome to Tahiti, everyone. I sure hope that you enjoyed this one. Be sure to leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. And I mean, man, just look at how beautiful this looks. Just look at how absolutely beautiful this looks. So, thank you very much for flying along. As always, let me know your opinion in the comments underneath the video. Like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.